Hello everybody and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts 2 playthrough. Now, you may be wondering, why the hell are you in Hollow Bastion? And to be perfectly honest, I'm wondering that too. But don't worry, this is our penultimate part of preparation stuff. And just kind of showing off our final things to be able to do. Now, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I think making sure I get a load of high potions is a good idea, because, for starters, going to need them for the Goddess of Fate cup, because I suck. Also, yeah, we're nearly there with Ultimate Weapon. We've just got the Goddess of Fate cup, which we will be doing. But the main reason I came to Hollow Bastion is to show off the skateboarding minigame. So basically, I think in numerous of the worlds, including Agrabah, Twilight Town and stuff, you will find these skateboards. Well, people who are asking you to do a skateboard minigame. And basically what they want you to do is to get a certain max combo, which basically is don't touch the ground. So you need to try and get as much as humanly possible without touching the ground. It's possible to get a good score if you know what you're doing, but unfortunately I am absolutely rubbish at this. So yeah, I'm not getting very high scores, and I don't think I'll get the thing that I need to, because I think you need to get over 200, or might be over 500 or something, to get the complete thing on Jiminy's Journal. And if you want to complete Jiminy's Journal, then you need to do this in every single world that this is offered in. The same is true of getting all the high scores in 100 Acre Wood and Atlantica, and completing all of the Colosseum stuffs with the kind of high scores. And it's just like, yeah, no. If you want the secret ending to Kingdom Hearts 2, just play Proud Mode. It's a lot easier and a lot less painful. Because if you do it on Standard Mode, you have to complete Jiminy's Journal. There is literally no way out of it. So you need to do all these minigames and do them perfectly. You need to beat Sephiroth, and so on and so forth. And that's not easy. In fact, it's borderline just ridiculously impossible, and really is not worth the hassle. So just follow my advice when I say play it on Proud Mode. This isn't Kingdom Hearts 1's Proud Mode. This is easy in the grand scheme of things. It can easily still screw you over, but it's not. It's absolutely so much simpler. The frustrating thing is that in Kingdom Hearts 1, even though you were required to do a lot to get the secret ending, just how do I put this? Collecting all of the Dalmatians and locking all the keyholes and stuff is not that much of a challenge. But kind of here with Jiminy's Journal, it's just ridiculous. And while it adds so much kind of gameplay value to the game, it's not worth it. It's the same reason why I can't remember which of the handheld titles it was. It was either Days or Recoded. I think it was Recoded, to be honest. Basically, to unlock the secret ending, what it required of you was just like so tedious that it's just like, I can just watch it on YouTube. I'm actually gonna, not have to suffer. Somebody else will happily suffer through it, but I'm not that sadomasochistic. Like, I'm up for a challenge and all, but I've got better things to do with my time than, like, try and complete all this Jiminy's Journal stuff. I've got a life. I may not use it that much, but there's still a vague sense of life that has to happen. I've got work to do. And this is just... what it's asking you to do is just too much. For what is essentially very little. Now, as you can see, I have tried to complete the Goddess of Fate Cup before this, but it never went very well. The highest I got up to was match 6. Which, as you will see, is a hideous match, and I hate it. But thankfully I managed to find a good tactic. And it's most definitely required as a tactic, if you want any chance of succeeding. I'd say it's at the Goddess of Fate Cup that the game starts to get a little bit bull with its Colosseum gimmicks. Because, basically, at certain floors you're going to be set a challenge that's not just kill all the enemies, because if it was just kill all the enemies, this would be fine. But in adding the gimmicks that they do, which is like timed and last this certain amount of time, and don't get hit, it screws you over quite dramatically. So, this is an example. You've got to kill all the enemies in a minute. Now, I think in the grand scheme of things, this one's not too horrendous. Also, making use of final form is really, really, really useful. It's a godsend. Because you can just wreck everything. And this is another one with... you've only got 50 points, so you've not got that many hits before they can kill you. And just... ugh. It's not nice. Especially when you have the enemies that can projectile you from out of nowhere. Because that's fair, isn't it? The main reason why sort of, for the most part, like, I'd say that Bayonetta has one of the fairest AIs out there. It's difficult, don't get me wrong, but, like, enemies just can't randomly attack you from off the screen. And if they are going to, then there's a sound cue that you can hear that signals that you need to do something. And it's noticeable enough for you to kind of be able to react. Whereas, I mean, those flower creeper thingies, do they give you a chance to react? No, they just shoot you. Don't give a damn. Now, I believe if you want to get the high score for the Goddess of Fate, you've got to get over 3,000 points. Which is a challenge. Most definitely. Like, it's insane. But it is possible. I think it gets way more difficult when you get onto the other Paradox Cups, or when you get onto the Paradox Cups, because then the difficulty is ramped up ridiculously high anyway, and then you've got to try and do well on your scores, and it's just like, what the hell? It's just unfair, really. Although, I told you I was going to need those bloomin' high potions. Now, I believe that this is one of the worst bits of it, because you have to face 3 of these guys down, and they're already a pain, but facing 3 of them down at once is just like, ah! And I think the reason that I'm saving my drive gauges because I want to use it later. I think particularly because, like, the next match is the one that I constantly died on. Although, having said that, that's not, like, damage output is not the reason that I failed. And consistently failed on this one. So you got to defeat a large body and a fat bandit in 30 seconds. That's not easy. So basically, the only way you're going to be able to do this is using Blizzaga. Like, just use Blizzaga. And make sure to just use magic. Because it makes this so much simpler on you. Because just the frustrations I had with blooming that match. It was just so distinctly grossly unfair. And it's all because you're given 30 seconds to defeat those guys, and because they block your attacks, the only way of kind of effectively damaging them is magic. So you've got to use Blizzaga, but even using Blizzaga, if you miss, you can very, very, very easily kind of run out of magic, and then ta-da, you're screwed. But I should probably stop moaning, because I've gotten past what is essentially the difficult bit. Because we've only got 2 matches left after this. This particular round's ridiculously easy, because it's just these guys. And then we have one more round in a boss fight, and the boss ain't that hard. So matches 5 and 6 are the hardest in the entire thing. Everything else just doesn't really stand a chance. And I mean, if you're using kind of your drive forms and magic, and yeah, nothing stands a chance apart from those 2 matches, which is just ridiculous that that is the case. But here we go. It's time for the final match, and we've got to take down Hades. Now, I probably would have been better off just going straight for Hades, as the thing told me to, but I just want to kill some more enemies. Also, I do just love Final Form, it's glorious. Now, I do believe that basically Hades just constantly will summon these guys back, so that's why it's saying just go for Hades, because you're not going to get anywhere beating those guys up. They're going to get annoying, but they're not actually going to... They're just going to keep respawning, and you're just going to end up in this endless cycle that's not going to get you anywhere. So just focus your efforts on Hades, and he'll go down soon enough. He's really not a challenge. He was much more challenging when we actually had to face him alongside Hercules and stuff, because he went into his god mode. And I don't think he ever does that here. Or if he does, he's not doing it here. Right, I think to end this thing off, we're going to go Final Form and just wreck his crud. Basically, I want to get some cutscenes in with Final Form before the end of the game, because I just love it so much. There we go. We've got the Goddess of Fate Cup, which, as you can see, has got the 3 Fate Sisters on it, which is wonderful. And because of that, we get the Fatal Crest, and our final Orichalcum Plus. Which means that we can head on over to the Moogle, and we can get the Ultima Weapon. Now, I believe that the thing in the middle there is for the Hades Cup, which you unlock after completing all of the Paradox Cups. And I think the Paradox Cups only unlock after you leave. So either you have to redo the cup or something or other. I can't remember how you get them, but they unlock after you've beaten the Goddess of Fate Cup. But I really don't care. All I want is Ultima Weapon! Which is easily the strongest weapon in the game. And it's just wonderful. It's huge, it's powerful, it's phenomenal, I love it. And we are not going to get Save the Queen and Save the King, even though I thought we were. I just got fed up at this point. I just wanted to finish the game, because I wanted to do the really, really awesome finale, because I love it so much. But let's give ourselves Ultima Weapon, because I mean, its main thing is that it adds a huge amount of magic onto your thing. And so we're going to have an Ultima Weapon Oblivion combo for Final Form, which is wonderful. And we only have one more part of preparation to go, and even though it's not really that much preparation, it's just showing off the optional boss, and something that I've already shown off, but just completing it before we go take on Xemnas. So, it's time to head on over to Hollow Bastion. Let's do this.